Hi, attorney Mike Monteforte here, and today I'm answering the question, what is a family trust and what are the benefits of it? So there are all different types of trusts. Usually when we use the term family trust, we're speaking about a revocable family trust set up by a family member. Most of the time it's a parent or parents setting up one of these trusts for their children. So clients will sometimes come in and ask me, can't I do a simple estate plan? All I want is a will. Why would I need a trust? I just want to keep everything simple. Why do I need to spend the money on a trust? And the biggest factor that comes into play there is the age of the client's children. So if you've got children that are minors, children that are under 18, and you don't do a trust, you just do a will, what you're doing essentially is you're leaving your money to the guardians of your children, because the children are too young to inherit and control assets on their own. So the money is going to go to their guardians, whoever you name as guardians to take care of the kids. And the money is going to go to those guardians with absolutely no oversight, no fiduciary duties, no guarantees that the money is going to be used for the best interest of your children. So we insert the revocable family trust into your estate plan at that point to make sure of several things. First of all, we have to name a trustee. The trustee is the person that runs the trust and that's responsible for the money in that trust and for using the money for the benefit of the beneficiaries, which in most cases are your children. That trustee has a legal duty to make sure that the money is used on their behalf and in their best interest. So now we've got some oversight here. We've got the guardians on one hand, we've got the trustees on the other hand, and the trustees have discretion to use those funds on behalf of the children, as opposed to the money simply going to the guardians and being used however the guardians see fit, whether it is for the benefit of your kids or not. So that first benefit of the trust is that we've got some oversight. We've got a trustee who's legally bound to use the money for the benefit of your children. The next benefit that comes with the family trust is what are called delayed distributions. All right, if we've got just a will with no trust and your children are under 18, once they become 18, they're going to inherit all of the money that you left them in your will. Now, if you've got a home and maybe some bank accounts and some life insurance, you could be talking about a very large sum of money that all of a sudden is now going to belong to an 18-year-old kid. And who knows what that 18-year-old kid is going to go out and spend that money on. Who knows if they're ready for that type of responsibility and are able to use that money wisely. So we've got the trustee that's going to make decisions on behalf of the beneficiaries, make sure that the money is used on their behalf and make sure that the money is used properly. What we do is we set up these delayed distributions so that your beneficiaries or your kids aren't inheriting all the money at once. We may set up 3 benchmark ages at which they'll receive these funds. So we might give them a third of it at the age of 18, a third of it at 21, a third of it at 23, or we might space it out even further and do age 20, 25, and 30. And what we're doing is we're giving beneficiaries some of the money at each of these benchmark ages, and that allows them to become used to dealing financially for themselves without dropping this entire huge pot of money on them all at once. We're spacing it out so that they're getting a little bit at a time, and in the meantime that trustee is still there to give some oversight, have some control, and can grant additional funds if the trustee sees fit. Now, the other thing that we're doing by spreading these distributions out is we are allowing for the trustee to potentially withhold some of those distributions if making a distribution would harm the beneficiary in some way. So if we've got a child that's applying for college and applying for financial aid, it might do more harm than good to give them a large distribution all at once, or for them to have a huge pot of money sitting in their bank account in their name. They're never going to qualify for financial aid. So we've given this trustee some discretion to hold back on a distribution, say until the financial aid process is over, and then make a distribution. So the trustee can keep from making a distribution that's going to be detrimental to one of the beneficiaries. Another potential benefit of spacing out the distributions is in cases of divorce. Now, family court and divorce rules change all the time, but if you've got a child that possibly marries young and maybe divorces young, there's potential benefit of spacing out the distributions, because money that's not in the child's name but that's held in the trust could potentially be free from division in the divorce court. Now, the last benefit that goes along with having one of these trusts has to do with life insurance, and this is a big one. Most spouses name each other as the beneficiaries of their life insurance, and then they name the kids as the secondary beneficiary. Well, if that happens, we're dealing with the same issue. That life insurance money has to pass through your estate, and then it's going to go directly to your kids once it passes through your estate. And now we've got either 18 or young kids holding a bunch of money that they're responsible for, or we've got a situation where the guardians are responsible for that money, and who knows what those guardians are going to do with it. If we make the irrevocable trust the secondary beneficiary of your life insurance, the proceeds of that life insurance policy are going to avoid probate. They're going to skip right over the probate court and pass into the trust, because the trust is the beneficiary of the policy. Now we've bypassed probate, so that means that the beneficiaries are going to get the money faster, and it means that the money isn't going to be subject to your estate's creditors, because that money was never in your estate at all. It passes right over your estate and directly to the trust. And now that trust comes under the discretion of the trustee. So once again, we've got the trustee controlling the money, using their discretion to administer that money, to invest that money, and to use it in the best interest of their children. But now that money's available right away. It's passed over the probate court completely and goes directly to the trust, so it can be used right away for the benefit of the beneficiaries. So that's the reason why when we recommend a family trust, when we've got clients with children that are either very young or just haven't quite reached adulthood, is because we've provided this additional oversight and these additional protections to make sure the money is used the way that you want it to. Feel free to comment on this video and ask any additional questions. We might answer that question in our next video.